Hello, listeners. Chelsea K. Podcaster here. Welcome to today's podcast about supernatural favor. Favor is approval, support, or liking for someone or something. Favor is what you need to move ahead in life. We have opportunities granted to us, and people give us what we don't expect. You can do things and go places that you normally can't get to. And it produces supernatural increase and promotion. It restores back everything that has been stolen from you. It gives you honor among your enemies, and it impacts what you have and allows you to receive more, especially in real estate. It gives you great victory over impossible situations, and you get recognized by people that you don't expect. You get your request granted, and you win battles that you face in life, and you will see the doors open up to you because of favor. Favor comes from a supernatural source. It's not based on man, but people are involved in the process of favor and how it works. There is a difference between man seeking favor versus somebody who receives favor. When you seek favor from people, you fall into the position of sacrificing yourself to gain man's favor. And this kind of favor is like a slave mentality. It is actually not a good type of favor to have. It can involve putting yourself down, and it requires lowering yourself. Other options of favor of man is having to give them something regularly to gain favor from them. It's still self-made efforts, and some are willing to lower themselves until they get favor of the emperor or any person of position or power in order for them to be favored by them. Men puts themselves to shame in a sense to gain this type of favor. You become a servant of a man, and you work hard to get this favor and to keep it going. This favor is not what you should go after. You suffer in the process, and it's very degrading to a person. Be careful what kind of favor you seek given to you because of relationships and connections of who you believe in, because that does affect your life forever. If you seek the supernatural type of favor, this kind of favor gives you favor with people without having to work hard to get it. This favor comes from not giving your cost, but it's given to you by the supernatural source, versus man-made favor has a cost that's tied to it, of putting yourself under man's service. This kind of favor of being in contact with certain people under your own circumstances will always result in disgrace of yourself, versus the other type of favor where you are able to receive favor from people not because of you earning favor, but favor is extended to you out of grace and mercy, out of love, out of concern, out of care, out of that other person's heart to want to extend it to you. You can be favored just by being in contact with certain people. Have you had a job granted to you without having to struggle to get it? That's favor. Favor gets you what you want and what you don't expect, despite others around you and what they want. If you can seek this kind of favor, your life will actually be much better off. There is an example of a woman named Esther, who was a regular virgin citizen. She was actually not anyone particularly special, but because she was beautiful, and she was also a woman of honor, she had good heart intentions, and she had good character, and she listened to the eunuch. She was obedient. She held on to her faith. She listened to her cousin, who became her uncle, who was raising her as his own daughter. And she lost her parents when she was young. She was given everything when she became queen, just because she had the opportunity to come before the king. And it's because of the favor she had with the eunuch first that she was able to know what the king likes. And he was able to help her so that she came in presence with the king and he wanted her. She was given maidens, and she was willing to do all that she could to help her own people, even if it meant sacrificing her own life. And she accepted that, even knowing the threat, because her people were being threatened to be killed by their enemy, the enemy that happened to be within the palace where she was placed. The king favored her and granted her a request. For Esther came before the king at least twice to present herself, not asking the king exactly what she was going to imply to receive from him, but instead asking him to come before her to a banquet that she has prepared for him. And the king granted it twice. Each time she received from the king the same answer, and each time she answered the king, until finally, in the second time, when the king responded to her banquet request, she gave her answer and told him exactly the reason why she requested for him to come to the banquet. For she pleaded for her life and the life of her people, and she made it clear who the adversary is, who came against her and her people. And because of this, the king responded to her request. The king was very angry of what her enemy had requested of her and who he is, for he ended up getting hanged in the process because of this evil that he had done. And so the king gave the signet ring that used to belong to that person and passed it to Mordecai so that he could reverse the sealed request that this particular evil man had done. Because in those days in Persia, they were not allowed to reverse what the king has already sealed as a rule. So the king had to give Mordecai the ring in order for him to put another seal on another request for the people to fight against their enemies and be able to defend themselves. And so this has become the custom of remembrance for the Jewish people, for Israel, that they celebrate Purim every year, remembering this incident that happened years ago. And this queen is remembered for this, as well as her cousin Mordecai. And the enemy has been shunned as well in the process every time they celebrate and remember this incident that happened. But this is a great example of favor that comes from a supernatural source, because this Jewish woman believed in the one that her faith is put in. She did not rely on the king, actually, even though the king is physically present and there, because she knew that according to the time in Persia, the law said that if anybody should come before the king without being called in, would actually be killed. But because of the edict that was presented to come against her people, she had no other choice but to have to give herself up in order to save her people, in hopes that the king's heart would turn and be willing to give them the opportunity to save their lives. And because she appealed to the higher source which she believes in, which is her faith is established on, she was able to receive her request granted. And the physical king was able to respond and grant her this favor to spare her life and the life of her people. So likewise, favor can come to us, and it is beyond us. It's beyond our efforts. This favor is greater than man's favor, and human efforts are always limited. Supernatural favor is undeserved. We need to remember that. It's not something we deserve to have. Even good people and people being good to us can be considered as a favor. Favor comes when we don't seek for it. Do what is right, and favor can come to us. For those of faith, it is focusing on your source of faith that brings favor to you. It's who you believe in, not what you can do, that brings you the favor. When you delight in Him, He will grant you favor. It will surround your life, and it stays with you for life. Decide for yourself what you want to do. If you want to experience favor in life, the decision will make your life better, but it takes effort for you to give up what you think in order to experience it. You must be obedient in order to receive it, because it will affect every aspect of your life and how you treat others and how you see them. You can experience favor in your own efforts or choose to experience supernatural favor. Commitment is required, and the choice is yours, and you don't have to seek favor to enjoy your life in every effort that you make. Remember this, it is not your own effort that will give you divine favor. You can keep doing what you think works best for you, and you need time to make the effort to choose how you want to move forward with your life. Favor is grace, and you enjoy better when you have favor. You can enjoy benefits if you want favor to operate in your life, but it's not necessary if you already enjoy your life as it is. You can enjoy the benefits of what your efforts produce. Others who don't want it, they know and understand how it works, and they can make changes in their life that are like favor. You enjoy life just by making certain changes in your life, and favor is necessary when you need a situation to change that will hinder your life. Favor is needed when it's a threat to your life. It can help remove serious blockage in your life. Another example is Joseph had favor with Pharaoh. He interpreted his dream, and he was given a wife, a home, and all that he was needed. He got children through the life, and he brought his family into the land. He started out as a shepherd son and became a slave and helped the jailer's ward. He gained supernatural favor. Favor works for those who do not complain and are focused. They just focus on the one that they believe in, and they are honored, and they honor that source. They live the life that is clean and right morally. It is part of the key of favor to operating. Obedience is the key to favor in life. For those of faith, obedience is very important to favor, and many blessings and benefits to your life will be released. Favor is both supernatural and spiritual and natural. You expand also in the influence of others and with others. It also gives you inspired ideas to help make your life better. It works among family, friends, and business, church, and every area of your life. Those who work get promoted, and it's beyond your ability. Obedience opens favor for you. You need to surrender to obey. It's guaranteed that it can happen. And thank you for listening to Chelsea K podcast. If you found this podcast helpful, please share, like, and subscribe. You can check my YouTube channel and any platform for more podcasts. Please also check my website for updates, for any other details and other products that I have available. And thank you, and have a good day, afternoon, and evening.